Together unscripted, baby, that's our way. In a life that's messy, we love and laugh each day.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Together Unscripted, Love, Laughs, and Leftovers. My name is Dan. This is my beautiful wife, Jennifer. We're going to go into detail with how we changed our eating. We're going to focus on the first 30 days because I've actually been getting a bunch of questions from folks asking how we did what we did, just looking for some advice. So I know, like we had said before, I found this way of eating. I researched it. I looked at all the scientific data, and then I pretty much dumped it in Jenn's lap, and she ran from there. So
Totally.
so I said, this is what I want to do. Let's do this together. And I let her do, because if I forced it on her, I knew she, like, here's the science. She doesn't, her brain doesn't work science ways. I'm a scientist, she's not. So I knew that wasn't the way to do. So I just gave it to her and said, you know, read this. It's written in layman's terms. And then she ran with it.
Totally. So once I read the information through the Primal Blueprint, we made the decision to dive in aggressively. And the very first thing that we did was we did the pantry purge and the fridge purge. So
big time.
that was eye-opening.
I think so.
The amount of things, because again, we thought we were eating healthy.
Yeah.
But the amount of things that
once we learned what to get rid of, it was 90% of our stock.
Yeah, it was. And then I think one of the key things that helped us too was we separated everything out. So we had specific shelves in the pantry, and the kids had their shelves.
Yeah.
We had tried to. We've never been everything has a place in the fridge type of a couple. So we tried to separate out our ingredients and our things in the fridge and the freezer from the kids' things.
Yeah, we didn't want to torture the kids. Like,
no.
We're learning a new way of eating. We're not going to force them to learn that way with us.
Correct.
So, especially since, you know, they were with us half the time, with their exes half the time, I didn't want them to.
Correct.
That it would have been torture to them for no reason.
And especially when it came to snacks. You know, we let them have their snacks, but we restocked our pantry with snacks that were primal approved.
Right.
So nuts and coconut chips, dark chocolate.
Parmesan crisps.
Oh, the Parm crisps are so good.
Pork rinds.
Pork rinds.
Became my favorite thing ever.
I've never had a pork rind prior to the start of our primal journey.
So good.
Because I really thought they were kind of gross.
But your taste buds change. Because now I can't stand sweet anymore. I want salty and sour. I don't want sweet.
No, and I think that was a big thing too over the holidays, is neither of us were tempted at any of the desserts.
I quite literally had one bite of something that I used to love when I was a kid, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's enough. Holy crap. Like
for me, just the smell of it, the smell of that sugar
when we go
pie.
into a candy shop or anything like that, I can't stand the sugar.
Yeah, even just walking by the bakery in the grocery store, like
it's a bit much. Yeah.
No, if the ice cream brand that we didn't like was right next to the bakery, I wouldn't even go to that corner of the store. But no, I mean, separating anything out, making sure that we were prepared with primal approved snacks. I mean, the meals I think were easy for me. I mean, I enjoy cooking too, so the meals and swapping out the ingredients was pretty easy. But making sure that we had the snacks on hand. Making sure we weren't tempted to grab a Pop-Tart or a bagel or, you know, the crap, that we had been eating previously. What would you say is your number one thing that you had to eliminate?
The only thing I had to eliminate, I think the biggest help for me in getting kickstarted with this was I stopped drinking my calories. My two drinks of choice before we learned how to eat this way was orange juice, which I drank no matter time of day, and beer. Quite honestly, I didn't drink much water. Coffee, which actually I used to put cream and sugar in, which I don't anymore. It was sweetened coffee, orange juice, and beer were the things were 90% of what I drank during the day. So getting those out of my system, getting all those empty calories out, and then, you know, the beer has the processed grain in it, so that messes with your stomach too for inflammation. But just those calories, I probably saved 1,000 or 1,200 calories a day
easily
in stuff I drank. and got no return out of it other than getting hyper and crashing later. That's really all I got out of it. Yep. So I'm glad that, I mean, now I drink plain water. I drink electrolyte water. Either I'll take an electrolyte tablet and drink it, or actually put electrolytes in the water. Sugar-free seltzers are great. Love tons of them. And when it comes to alcohol, sadly, as much as I love beer, I can't even drink anymore. It's not even an option anymore.
No,
it will make me
we learned
sick
that the hard way, like we talked about
hell.
before.
The last time I had beer, I was sick for a week. Not worth it. Not worth the headache. Not worth the feeling I could want to puke all day.
No.
So I've become a bit of a whiskey snob, which I don't drink often, but when I do, it's scotch, it's bourbon, which spirits are a fair trade if you're going to drink something. But if you're still 100 pounds overweight, you shouldn't be drinking at all.
No.
It's once you get to your level point that you're happy, you can reintroduce it, just not in excess. So spirits and dark red wine are the things I drink now. So, I'm not drinking a case of Coors Light in a week. I'm not drinking a 6-pack of IPAs in a day. It's just, I just can't do that anymore. So what do you think was the big thing for you, the biggest help for you?
Eliminating seed oils.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Yeah. Well, because you don't realize how much I use them to cook. I use canola oil or vegetable oil in almost everything that I cooked, sauteed,
yeah, we used to have
baked.
Big jugs, huge jugs, like the 2-gallon jugs.
That we used to get at the wholesale club. Mm-hmm.
That jug. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Yeah,
Barely.
that and then like Crisco.
Barely remember that.
Because I would use Crisco a lot to bake or to make certain things. So eliminating that right off the bat was huge.
Yeah, because I think within the first month, I think I lost 10 or 15 pounds, and you were pretty close too.
Yep.
And that's just all the water
It was.
washing out of your system. When you get rid of the seed oils and the inflammation starts to go down.
And the other thing was increasing the water intake, like you kind of mentioned. Because I was not a big water drinker either.
No,
I would drink.
You get dizzy all the time. You drink coffee, and then when you switch coffee, it was wine.
I would drink coffee all day long. Very,
Unbelievable.
very, very little water.
I remember we'd go out, and you'd go to look at something. Like we were in a department store, and you were looking at something. I think it was a rack of shoes, and then you stood up.
Like,
you're like, ooh, I'm dizzy. I'm like, you dehydrated. I'm like, no, I had a cup of water. Yeah, but you also had 2 pots of coffee. So what the hell? It didn't even take a diet change to know that one. That was pretty freaking obvious. You drank way too much coffee.
No, but making sure I'm being conscious of increasing my water intake all throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing to me because I'm not a plain water person. Still not. So my water has my essential oils in it now, so it tastes like something than just plain water. Or the flavored like the no calorie, no sugar seltzers.
Right.
Those are a good go-to. Mm-hmm. And I think the other piece, because we dove in so aggressively, and not everybody chooses to. I mean, we certainly have clients that some choose
the aggressive, and some are terrified of it.
Correct, and some want to go baby steps, which is totally fine too.
But then you got the ones that I could think of 3 off the top of my head that wanted aggressive. I gave them aggressive, and then 2 weeks in, they were in tears, and I had to back it off.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well,
that's what
your 90-day coaching just went to 6 months because
I
can't introduce everything you need to know.
Yeah.
But not everybody's built the same.
No. But with going aggressively, the planning was a huge part of our success. So we did the research. We knew.
Let's be honest. Your planning.
All right, sure. the pantry purge, the fridge and the freezer purge, knowing what to eliminate, what to bring in, but then creating. I mean, too. We have 4 kids that were still in high school at the time when we started. Middle school, high school. They were between middle school and high school when we started. So they were so busy in activities. I was, granted too, I already meal planned to begin with. So now it was just making some adjustments to that meal plan. But, sitting down and planning out a grocery list. Okay, these are the 5 meals that we're having this week. And I used to actually be even more pointed, I would say, to my planning. Like Monday was going to be this meal, and Tuesday was this, and Wednesday.
Kidding. You don't say.
But I mean, now it's I plan out 4 or 5 meals. Now it's just the 2 of us too, so we usually have leftovers. I still cook like I'm cooking for 6.
Perfect for lunch. I love that.
But the meal planning. So now it's like, okay, I plan out typically 4 meals a week, And then depending on our schedules at night or what we're in the mood for, that's what we're, we plan kind of like morning to midday. We're like, okay, we're going to do this tonight. But planning out the meals and making that list, making the grocery list of what ingredients do I need for each meal. I break it down to like the different departments, like produce, middle aisles, proteins, and dairy. Like I have 4 sections really to my grocery list every single week. And that just makes it easier. And it actually saves us money because we're sticking to a list and a, not a little bit of a budget, but
we're not winging it.
Right.
Because when you wing it, you buy half the grocery store and then a week later you got to throw it all away. Correct.
So everything that is purchased with purpose, I guess you could say. But the meal planning is huge. So, and Pinterest and Google are your friend.
True. Not every time. I made a recipe off of Pinterest and it tasted good, but man, that thing looked like dookie. Holy Lord.
That was a turkey.
Blueberry something or other.
Pomegranate dish.
It came out, it looked like a giant cow patty. It was filthy gross looking. It tasted fantastic, but Pinterest is not always truthful, so be careful.
No, it's really not.
That was my Pinterest disaster.
That was, yeah. But, if you Google or, use Pinterest to search, typically we do search a lot of like keto or paleo recipes, just because they fit easier. Whole30 sometimes.
Well, we're also metabolically flexible, so we don't have to stick to this is the amount of carbs you have every day. This is the amount of protein you have every day. It's a ballpark.
No.
For a couple days, if you go a little light in the protein, a little heavy on the carbs, and you can reverse it. For a few days.
Yeah, we were very specific when we started. We focused more on ingredients and what to eat and what not and what to avoid, versus really getting into the nitty gritty of the macros and different things.
The only thing I actually worried about was net carbs. I did count net carbs, so I knew. Yeah. And there were days, quite honestly, I was under 10. So that's why in the first 2-3 months
we lost so much weight,
a shit ton of weight.
Yeah. But the carbs that we were getting was really just from vegetables.
Yeah.
We eliminated bread and regular pasta and a lot of, because we dove in aggressively. We eliminated all of that right off the bat. The only carbs that we were getting were
vegetables and from low glycemic fruit, because we looked at the list of which fruit we could have, which fruit is probably not the best when you're trying to lose weight.
More carbs from like tomatoes and onions than anything
probably
else.
From all the recipes you made, I believe that.
But no, we did. We chose to dive in aggressively. The pantry purge was key. The planning was key, and being flexible. So I think probably for the first 3 or 4 weeks solid, we cooked. I cooked.
We both did.
No, we did. Pretty much every meal. But that can get exhausting too.
It does.
So. Yeah,
but that's also, like I said, it gets exhausting, but that's when we started to realize, all right, eating out is an option. You just have to know where and which meals they have that don't offend the palate and don't mess with your gut. Just because we learned once or twice that if you throw caution to the wind, you and the porcelain goddess are going to be friends for a couple days. So like the hell with that shit. So, knowing which restaurants, that's even big here. We moved. And it's like, oh crap, we gotta learn this all over again. So now we have our favorite bar. We know our favorite bar with elevated food. We know what we can eat there. Granted, they do have stuff on the menu that I would love to have, but I know it'll make me sick.
No, it's gonna make you
feel like I want those nachos. Crap. It's like, no. First of all, they got dye. They got colors in them, so I know that's not. There's no such thing as a red nacho. That's red dye. Like, crap. Can't eat it. So, but knowing that they got ridiculous burgers, just ask on a lettuce, bed of lettuce. They got their chilies. They got all the different chicken and poultry dishes. It's phenomenal stuff. And that's just one restaurant. Then we got the sushi place that we love, and then we have the Mexican place that we love. And we just know what to order and what to avoid. Even our takeout joints, we know exactly what we should be able to have.
Yeah, exactly. And even when we were back in our hometown, there was a pizza joint that we frequented pretty often. And if we called and gave them a specific, like, I want this grinder, but no roll, just serve it to me in a dish, they were terrific. A lot of places, if you just call and ask, they'll accommodate you because they still want the business.
Yeah, that's what freaked me out when we went to see friends of ours. Holy cow.
Oh, gosh, yes.
We got invited out to dinner by really good friends of ours. And since we hadn't seen them in so long, we said, where do you want to go? And they mentioned a restaurant, and it's an Italian restaurant. And we said yes. We didn't want to be pains in the ass. And we were freaking out. We're like, all right, the only thing we're going to be able to flip and eat is salad if they don't have gluten-free pasta. Even gluten-free pasta is not the savior. You still can't eat pasta every day, but that's, if you're going to have pasta, that's...
It's the 80-20 rule.
It's 80-20. It's less offensive than regular pasta. But we get there, and we're looking at the menu. There's no GF. There's no gluten-free. There's no nothing. So we're starting to look at each other like, I don't know what's going to happen here. But then we did ask the server, and they had gluten-free pasta. So
yeah, thankfully.
But then the portion came up.
They were huge.
The plate was bigger than my body, so
they were huge.
So
it was really good.
I mean, I think I got 2.5 meals out of that freaking thing. Like,
easily.
How?
Yeah.
But that was nice that they had it. I just wish they put it on the menu so that for that 5 minutes we weren't panicking.
I know, it was odd, especially nowadays, because this happened just a few months ago, and yeah, normally where there's pizza, it'll list a gluten-free option. The pasta, especially, it'll say gluten-free available for an upcharge. Like, I don't care, I'll pay the $2, but no place on the menu did it say that. So always ask. But yeah, I mean the planning and the takeout we do. Like you said, we have our top joints that we love. So when we're just
exhausted,
spent and I just don't feel like cooking, we know we have options.
Right.
So
yeah, our favorite little Greek guy that knows us by name now. So
they do.
The kebab salad.
Food is so good.
So fantastic. Yeah, so we got that.
But we did. So our first 30 days, we started with that pantry purge, separated out things so that when we looked in the pantry, we looked in the fridge, we were looking at our choices, and the kids had to just find their stuff. Well, they're old enough.
Their drawers were lower, so I'm not bending over to get my crap. You're 12.
Granted, they were all, I think, taller than me. But
you're 12. Find your crap. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, separating it out and the planning. So even the night before, okay, this is what you're, because we both worked away from home at that point, and making sure that breakfast was planned, set aside in the fridge. Your lunch for the next day, same thing, was packaged, prepared. So all we had to do in the morning was go in the fridge or go in the pantry, put out on the counter what was needed for your lunch, my lunch, the kids' stuff. And that just made the morning routine easier. I think so much of it comes down to planning and, especially now that we're a week and a half or so into the new year, people want to make resolutions. I want to eat healthier. What actions, what steps are you taking to make that happen?
Yeah, most people will say, I want to eat healthier. The only thing they get out of their diet is McDonald's, and they can't even do that for more than a week.
Correct.
So they don't, other than skipping fast food or skipping the Slim Jims from the gas station, they honestly don't know. Because even people that come to me say, well, I eat great and I eat clean, and then I ask them their diet, and I'm not going to look into the face and go, like hell you do. You eat like shit. But it's, okay, that's a start. You're doing great. That's a start. Because, holy crap, I had somebody tell me they were eating clean, and every single thing that they told me was like, can't have it, can't have it, can't have it, can't have it. And she was also 150 pounds overweight, but she ate clean. Like, come on, man. Like, you're asking me for advice in public when I told you I'll take a phone call, and then you're berating me, and then after 5 minutes, I'm like, you know what? Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not the coach for you. God bless. Here's my website. Do your thing.
Exactly. No. But you have to plan. You cannot just wing it. When you're looking to make changes, whether it's to your exercise routine or your diet, what you're eating, what you're not going to eat, you really, really do have to plan. You can't just step into something and wing
well,
it.
The first month was tough, though, because we were still learning what not to have. So grocery shopping did take longer because you're reading every single label, and you're looking for that garbage that you can't have. And then you realize that most of your favorite brands are made with cheap garbage chemicals that actually make you sick.
Yep.
So the more the more labels I read, the more upset I get that I've been eating this shit for 40 something years. I realized I can't eat cereal anymore because every single cereal has some kind of chemical in it, and it's their top ingredients.
Yep.
Even learning when we were kids, McDonald's French fries were 3 things. They were potatoes, beef tallow, and salt was optional. Now it's like 30 ingredients, and they're all chemical. That's why they don't decompose at all. You can go buy McDonald's fries right now, leave them outside on your patio for 3 years. They're never going to decompose, and no animal will touch it because they don't recognize it as food. Ants won't even go near it.
No,
it's not food.
No,
but and it's one of those like, huh. So 2 things with that is when people say, "Well, I ate it as a kid." Well, 1, it's not the same stuff.
Far from it.
And 2, it's not food anymore.
No,
you shouldn't even come near
not
it.
made for human consumption. But no, the grocery shopping, yes, for the first month or so.
Until you learn what products are unadulterated, yeah.
Yeah, until we really learned or relearned what brands, what brands, and it was surprising too. I would say one thing in reading the labels, a lot of store brands were actually cleaner than the other name brands. We'll say
that's true now.
We still buy mostly store brand because it's cleaner and it has less crap in it than the name brands.
Right. All the time.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there were some adjustments up front to the shopping and to the planning, but I don't know. I feel like because we did dive in so aggressively, we were able to make those adjustments pretty quickly.
I think so. And since we had the support system of each other, it wasn't 3 days in, well, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore, it's too hard. Well, we relied on each other.
Well, forget this, I'm going through the drive-thru because I'm starving and I'm ready to get my order.
Because I just work 13-hour day. I don't have time to go home and make my own dinner even though everybody else already ate. Well, we didn't have that issue.
Correct.
Whichever one was available was the one who started cooking or finished cooking or whatever, between hockey and violin and softball and baseball and everything else.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad. But I know it's a culture. It was an extreme culture shock.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we were so hell bent and so damn stubborn that we didn't give 2 shits about the culture shock.
No. And I would say even that first week, because we were ultimately like detoxing. We eliminated so much crap out of our diet. And while our bodies are now being fueled with real food and real nutrients, it was still a shock to the system. So we definitely got that. I mean, we didn't really do keto, but we definitely had the keto.
We had the keto flu and the keto headache. We weren't going for keto, but we both had so much weight to lose.
Correct.
That we were just like, the hell with carbs.
Yep.
Unless it came from vegetables.
Yep.
So that is mostly fiber anyway, so your net carbs is almost nothing.
Correct.
Which is why we had the keto flu, and we felt like hell about day 5, 6, 7, 8, and then about 2 weeks, you never feel it again.
No,
so
you don't. And with that, and because we were so aggressive, the metabolic flexibility came pretty quickly.
I think so.
Because I couldn't skip breakfast. I had to eat. I had to have that late morning snack. I had to have lunch. I could eat at 11 o'clock in the morning and wasn't even thinking about it until then.
Right.
Like,
well, it's just like how I couldn't go more than 2-3 hours without food. My stomach would hurt, my head would hurt, and I'd get obnoxious, like obnoxiously hungry. Now I can do a 24-hour fast without even thinking about it. 48-hour, it's okay. You don't get any hungrier at 48 hours than you do at 24. No, I've done it 72.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
No.
Once your body's adapted. If your body's not adapted, good luck. You're gonna be fucking miserable.
You're gonna be hungry.
Absolutely miserable. It's not gonna work.
But no, I would say we became very metabolically flexible quickly because we were so aggressive with eliminating all the crap.
Yeah, and then in our first 30 days, absolutely. And it was, and most people that we've coached, the 30-day mark is when they start to have doubts because, I only lost 8 pounds. Well, first of all, who the hell loses 8 pounds in a month? You got rid of all the water, so now it's I'm so tired. Well, because you've never done anything like this before.
Correct.
You're probably not eating enough calories. Let's reevaluate. Let's look at your nutrients. Are you taking any multivitamins?
Are you getting enough protein in? That's a big one with women.
Yeah. Very
Really
much so.
forget, especially in this stage, you're not getting enough protein, and that's where a lot of issues come from.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing with men as they age. You're not getting enough protein in. You're not getting enough cholesterol in your system, which I know every doctor in the world has told you, oh, you can't have cholesterol. Bullshit. Have your cholesterol because your cholesterol turns into testosterone, and that's what
your body needs it.
Testosterone, you absolutely need it, and that's what helps you retain muscle. The cholesterol, your brain is 75% fat. It's all cholesterol. The myelin in your brain is made of cholesterol. If you don't have cholesterol and fat in your system, your brain starts to deteriorate. So all of the things that you've heard, so many things we've heard from the quote unquote the expert community is complete horseshit. For a time, you could go onto the American Diabetes Association website and look up a diet, a breakfast for a person with type 2 diabetes. It was a glass of orange juice, steel-cut oats with natural honey, and brown sugar.
Nothing like a sugar bomb to start your day.
That is not a breakfast for a type 2 diabetes person to get rid of their diabetes. That's something for anybody to become type 2 diabetic. It's complete bullshit. If you go to now, this one drives me crazy. First of all, the original food pyramid was nothing more than an advertisement. It was from Department of Agriculture. They wanted to sell more grain. So they had their experts look up and research, figure out what would happen if the average American consumed between 6 and 12 servings of grain every day. Their own experts told them you're going to cause a spike in obesity, you're going to cause a spike in diabetes. And they did it anyway, knowing full well it was going to be a fat epidemic. And that's why the U.S.
That's what we're living today.
Is so much fatter than the rest of the world. We were lied to. People still buy it. 6 to 12 servings of grain a day is the biggest lie in the world. And then the fats are on top, which meaning don't have any. It's absolutely backwards. Fat and protein should be your biggest. Vegetables, fruit next, low glycemic, and the bottom, the top where you shouldn't have hardly any is grain. Grain,
seed oils.
Grain is made for animals. Oats are not even good enough for human consumption. That was considered a peasant's breakfast way back when, and now they're saying it's a healthy option. It never was. They're just calories to keep you alive, but they don't keep you healthy.
No,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's not really feeding your body any nutrients.
All lies. It drives me crazy. And that was the food pyramid from way back when, and now the FDA came out and they released their healthy foods, and they're telling us that Lucky Charms are healthier than red meat.
Oh,
you lying sacks of crap. You know you're lying. You're lying to our face, and you're doing it anyway because some asshole, at the Lucky Charms company paid you to say it. That's all it is. It's the biggest crock of crap.
No.
It drives me nuts.
No. So please don't believe any of that.
Oh my goodness.
Do your research.
Government experts they're not experts. 2, they're only doing what they're paid to do because they've been lobbied. Period. Some company paid them to tell you that something's healthy when it isn't. For crying out loud, in the 60s, doctors used to tell us that cigarettes were okay. This is the brand of filtered cigarette that's good for you. Go F yourself. You're all full of it. And now it's been ingrained in us for so long that when you tell people the truth, they think you're lying.
Well, we're a couple of generations now into it, so, but yeah.
Drives me nuts.
So people are very ingrained to it.
But people are also starting to figure it out. Thank goodness.
Yes. So that's why we're excited to share more of our primal journey, how we got started. So first 30 days was just doing that kitchen and freezer and fridge purge, knowing what foods were okay, what to avoid, and planning. I really can't emphasize how much planning was a part of our success, along with the support of each other. Definitely the support. Sorry. But the planning and the communication was really key. If you are starting the new year and looking for to whether it just be feel better, sleep better, have more energy, lose weight, Primal is definitely the way to go. So feel free to check out our links below for more information on our websites or how we can help you get started on your own journey. So thanks for joining us this week. We hope you have a great one.
Take care.